G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Mythology Retold. Today we've got two legends of the Retold, well not the Retold community, but the AoM community because, well, the Retold community is only just getting started. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in on the west side of the map in the color blue, playing as Odin, it's Nakamura RTS. And on the west side of the map, in the color red, playing as Hades, it's Chemo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Giza. It is a pleasure to have your company here today. You might be wondering, why is it called Giza, Drongo? Well, that's because you're an absolute geezer for one. Sorry, I had to. It's because there's pyramids, all right? And we're in Egypt, baby. So that naturally gives Chemo an advantage playing on Hades. I'm looking forward to seeing what we've got today. Now, no Atlantean action, but we do have ourselves a lot of Norse action, and I'm excited. Anytime I get to see Norse, I'm excited. I consider myself I'm a bit of a Norse player myself, actually. Yes, I think I played about 2 games on them, which qualifies me as a Norse player. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing what we've got today because these two guys are pretty damn good. You know, it can be difficult. I think I've explained this before, but we don't get to really choose what games we can cast here. I mean, you do. The way that it works at the moment, at least in the stress test, I'm hoping that it gets fixed before release. Basically, the game shows you 20 games that you can spectate, and those games, the way that it shows you them are based on the length of the game. So if you take like all of the matches that are being played now, let's say that there's 500 games that are being played now, and whichever the 20 of them that are the longest, those are the ones that it will show you. So basically what it means is, like, often you'll get players that maybe they're a bit new to the game and they don't really know what they're doing. They start filling that up and you get like these hour-long game, 2-hour-long games that are up there, and they just kind of hog that top spot. And it means that, like, I don't really want to be casting 2 hours of guys like spamming toxotes at each other. I mean, I don't mind it if it's like the Mister and Recon. I'm all for it, but it's not, unfortunately. Their games go much quicker, so it means it's rare to actually get decent players through. And as soon as I saw these names, I'm just like, I'm not even going to ask questions, man. I'm just going to jump right in. Let's go have a look and see what we find. So far, no issues at all with our performance either. You guys will note that there's a little bit of performance issues that we do sometimes get. That is nothing that we've seen yet. And have a look at this. Interesting decision from Chemo already. Going to be putting down the Sentinels. This is something that we've seen players often delay doing, just because you can put it down on an expansion as an example. But this perhaps could be an indication of his intention not to expand. Another thing to note as well, we do see that his temple is quite far out from the base, so I'm pretty sure Chemo is a decent player. I'll have to double check that. Only because, like, I've already got like 2 red flags, and I don't want to talk shit on Chemo. Like, maybe he's an actual pro, and I'm just talking shit here. But I would love to know the thinking behind, number one, why are we building, or why are we using our Sentinels already in the main base? If we're just playing one base, then that's fine. And then number 2, why are we building our temple so far outside of our base? Like, wouldn't it make more sense to be building it like in here, where it could be really close to the town center, so that if you do get raided, these vills that are on the temple potentially later in the game have a closer garrison point? That would be my thinking. Chemo's got the Age up through though. Let's take a look and see what we've got on the way, not to mention Ajax is through. It's going to be Athena with the Minotaur. No real surprise there. Of course, Athena is very strong. Arguably the strongest Age up for the Greeks. Meanwhile, on the other side, let's take a look at Nakamura and see what the plans are for him. And it looks like it's going to be Freya. Definitely my favorite. Though, I'll be honest with you guys, I have a little bit of trouble with the Forest Fire because, wow, that was a lot of damage that came through. I have a little bit of trouble with the Forest Fire just because, maybe the temple's at the front like this to get closer to the enemy base. Maybe that's the play, because look at this. We've got a really far out military barracks, or very forward rather, I should say. We haven't even done relic review yet. We should probably do that. Freya's, or Valkyrie's now out of the map. But yeah, I always find it really hard with like the Forest Fire. I feel like I never get value out of it. It's like, congratulations, you did 35 damage to a villager and you forced the enemy to make another like stockpile, what do we call it? Storehouse. On a different wood line. Like, that's it, right? Anyway, nice little bit of a raid coming through early. We do hear the relics are starting to get picked up as well. First one to get picked up is going to be the blanket of Empress Zoe for a little bit more. What do we even got here? I'm assuming that a villager did go down here because there's no way to garrison. I probably should have been watching that. I just wanted to check the relics. Yeah, definitely gone down here. So we've got blanket of Empress Zoe. So buildings are more resistant to siege weapons. It's not that good, kids. I wouldn't be writing home about this one. C-tier. No, D-tier. Then we've got Gungnir, Odin's Spear, increases the attack of counter-cavalry infantry units. Very specific, not a lot of damage. Not really going to be using this unit a lot. Probably C to D tier. Then we've got the Chariot of Cybele, S tier, as long as you get it early on. And then finally, towards the top side, our final relic is the Thundercloud Shawl. Increases the pierce armor of human soldiers by 5%. That is definitely a good one because that's human soldiers, meaning everything. That's your cav, your archers, your infantry, absolutely everything, 5%. That's pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and say that's actually an S tier. Even though it's only 5%, because it's for everything and it's for the rest of the game, like that is going to matter. Now, granted, it's 5%, and that's like a 5% in Age of Mythology, which can always be like a little bit... Yeah, you can see right here, we have the fire burn down on the backside. I don't know if we managed to pick up any vills. Do we see any that have got damage? Doesn't look like any of them even really... Oh, no, one's got a little bit of damage. So you can expect... And there's a second one as well. You can expect that he copped a little bit of damage, but just moved down here. It's like, you know, really? Is that it? It is, unfortunately, it. But, yeah, it's a very strong relic. I like this a lot. I'm going to go with S tier. I think this is definitely the best relic on the field. Achilles now going to be coming out here as well for chemo. Starting to add in a couple of toxes over towards that front side. On the back side, Berserk now going to be coming through. Manages to make a connection with the villager. He was thinking about jumping on in to the sentry tower, but instead does a little bit of a tease and loses him out. On the front side, raiding cavalry. I always find this funny, right? Like, you've got very specific names for all the units in AoM, right? Like, if we look at the Greeks, we've got the Toxotes, we've got the Hoplites, you've got the Hippicampus, and then on the side of Nakamura here, his cavalry is just called raiding cavalry. It doesn't have like any kind of special name. It's just like, this is cavalry. It's mainly used for raiding. I guess we'll call it raiding cavalry. And you know, like everything else, like you've got the herdman, you've got like the throwing axeman. I mean, throwing axeman, I mean, it's kind of descriptive, right? Like, it's raiding cavalry, throwing axeman. Maybe that's the theme. Maybe the Norse were just very objective people. It's like, they didn't call it breakfast, they just called it, like, first meal. Because it's the first meal. That's the first meal that you eat. You know, what are you having for first meal? Potatoes, like always. Vil goes down, we spot that. Raiding cavalry definitely getting its name's worth in. Second Vil going to be going down on the backside. Nakamura doing a wonderful job, but have a look at this. Just when you thought Vils could only go down on one side, I mean, I'm sure you probably didn't think that. Big hit right there from the Centaur. It's a Centaur, right? No, it's a Minotaur. I always get confused. Resto coming through now. Chemo looking to try and keep his units alive. Excuse me, I'm a little bit sick at the moment. Anytime I get excited, I gotta mute to repair my voice. But Toxote numbers starting to fall here. Doing a great job with the micro on the raiding cavalry at the backside here. He's got plenty of units on the front, but you can see that they're chasing away what they realistically shouldn't. The throwing axemen here are going to be able to do great damage. So Kimbo struggling a little bit with the micro and just overwhelmed by Nakamura's forces at the moment. Does have still that Minotaur, rather. We got it. We got the Minotaur. Also does have the Achilles. Achilles is out still. Ajax is here as well. Okay, the numbers might not be as bad as it looks. Raven going to come in to offer a little bit of support. I mean, it doesn't really do anything other than, like, maybe takes an extra shot here from the hero unit. Yeah, you can see 1, 2, so it's not doing something else, but Valkyrie going to be getting on out of there. We can see now Nakamura might be in a little bit of trouble as he's got Vils out here. He's going to try and do a little bit of healing. But these Vils, I mean, this is the trouble that he's got. Now the Vils are caught out of position. We saw on the other side, he was doing a decent job with the raiding, but Nakamura now is the one who is going to be losing those villagers out. Does a great job at offering a screen for the moment for those Vils, but now Vil's going to be pulled back. I think I see what's going to happen here. He's going to make the Vils fight, try and get them to soak up a lot of damage, and then attack at the same time with the raiding cavalry. He may look to lose a couple of these, needs to pull them back, micro them very carefully, manages to lose or take out one Vil. Second Vil gets taken out as well. Slowly, that villager count is falling. You can see he's down to 27 versus 32. Big difference starting to build here. And this is a tough spot. He's still got chickens back in base he can fall back on if he needs to. And he obviously needs to at this point. He's going to call the Rhino in. Sir, it's a little bit early for a Rhino, don't you think? As now the Minotaur is just like eating alive all the villagers. Another one goes down. A second one goes down. Third one, he's looking for it, calling for it. Absolute Minotaur rampage today, baby. Go on, give it to him. Boom! Get out! Huge damage, unfortunately. It lands. And he's just like a cat, really. You know, it looks like a horse. It's not really. We just tape a whole bunch of cats together. You get 26 points, by the way, if you get that reference. And for anybody wondering why they don't use horses on camera, it's because they don't look like horses. So I'm sure you're wondering, what do you do if you want a bunch of cats? I love that scene so much. Gosh. Anyway, numbers still looking really good here for Chemo on the aggressive, on the aggression, on the aggressive. Shades now going to be coming in. I don't think I've got any water left in this cup. Oh, no, I don't. Do I have any Red Bull? Please tell me. I've got a little bit of Red Bull in here. I've also got some Vicks drops. I might take that to help me out here, just because I'm struggling. Give me a second here, fellas. Oh, it touches the right spot, but unfortunately, that's not where I need to be touched right now, Red Bull. It needs to be a little bit deeper down there. It's very itchy. I've got a scratchy throat. That's a reference. 10 points if you get that one. I mean, surely you're getting that one, right? Okay. Numbers starting to build once again for Nakamura on the defensive. Keep in mind, when it comes to food, he doesn't really have a lot of options out here. Let's take a look and see what his line of sight looks like. You can see as he's chased away, once again, the Pegasus has obviously spotted him out. Kimo doing a great job, and boom! Get out, he says. Raiding cavalry. Looking to pick up the reinforcements. He'll actually manage to find these. Keep in mind, he's already used that restoration, so doesn't have it in the back pocket. Starting to build up a little bit of favor here, but obviously that is going to be for, actually, let me double check here. No, that is for Chemo. Oh no, that is for Nakamura, rather. It's always, I always get a little bit confused when the colors are off here. I'll explain a bit more about that. Hopefully it gets fixed. But yeah, throwing axeman numbers definitely need to be improved or increased here. So he's able to start one-shotting out these hoplites on the back, the Toxotes. The Tox, yet to be met with any raiding cavalry. Now going to be brought forward. Obviously, he knows what he's doing, Nakamura. We don't have to tell him twice. He's well and truly all about that life. Minotaurs working their magic. A couple more Hersey going to be coming out, and we do see Ajax will be going down there. Vils also brought a little bit of a tribute to his opponent, but unfortunately gets chased away by the big axe of the Minotaur. And now Nakamura, he's holding on for dear life. He's looking pretty decent. A little bit of a wig out there on the town center. And boy, oh boy, the Valkyrie is back online. Nice little flip. Cool little flip right there. That's a 10. Almost gets taken out. Valkyrie will be able to heal that bad boy back up as long as he makes it out alive. Valkyrie now pushing forward here, getting a little bit of stabs on towards those Toxes, and Chemo's run out of gas, at least for the moment. He's run out of gas. Let's take a look and see what's going on inside the mind of Chemo. All right, well, let's have a look at his perspective here. Pegasus in the back. Towards the top side, a goat. A couple more goats as well. He's just leaving them out there to scout, I'm sure. No other reason. Vils migrating out over to gold. A lot of Vils on gold, actually. He could be thinking about heading up to the heroic age. With 1,000 food in the bank, I think that's exactly what he's doing right here. Has he got that armory up already? Let's take a look and see. I don't see it just yet, but he does have the wood in the bank for it. So, obviously, our colors at the moment are red and blue, right? On our left side of the screen, or left side of the battlefield, we've got our blue player, who's also our blue player up here. You can see blue. And that's Nakamura. And on our right side of our battlefield, over here on the minimap, we've got Chemo. And you can see he's red here. But you'll notice that the backgrounds here, one of them's red, one of them's blue. And that's because we've got the Greeks that are blue and the Norse that are red. And that never changes, right? Like, if you're two Norse players, they're both red. But it does confuse me sometimes. Sometimes I get a little bit confused because it's like I've got a red player and they're on this side of the map and I can see their colors red, but this is showing blue. And then I've got this that's red. And it just kind of confuses my brain a little bit. So I apologize if I get things confused, like favor number and stuff like that. It should seem easy, but it's a little bit of trouble for me. Raiding cavalry coming through on the backside. Valkyries have also got their upgrade as well. You can see they've got that extra little bit of leather armor along the edges. They make their way around. A lot of gold Vils here. Going to get caught out, looking to even up that villager count a little bit. He manages to make a connection with everybody involved. Meanwhile, towards the front, deciding to actually take a bit of a fight here. Not the right... Okay, don't worry. Guys, we've been through this before. You know what this is. This is our classic 14-minute lag. This happens every single game we cast. Don't go anywhere. It happens for like 6 seconds, and then we're all good. Have a look at that. We're just back to normal. Happens every single time. Don't be scared. It's not you. It's not me. That's Age of Mythology Retold, baby. It's here to stay. Hopefully the bug isn't, though, because that is quite annoying. Villager count has been diminished significantly right there. Nakamura finding a way back into this game with a beautiful raid. Now going to make his way back towards his own base, looking to defend. Vil's going to get taken out. It is a massacre on both sides here, as the Minotaurs have now been upgraded. They got golden axes. They're bull Minotaurs now. You don't want to be messing with these guys. You know what they say. You mess with the bull, you are going to get the horns. And indeed, that is going to be the case right here as he looks to unleash his full forces. And I got to say, right now, Hades is looking really good, man. I feel like this pantheon, this Civ, it is by far the best Greek pantheon at the moment. It just feels head and shoulders above everybody. Like the fact that you get the Shades, or as I like to call them, the Shadies of Hades. These guys are insane, right? And they just add that extra little bit of bulk to your army. It's a cool thing. All right, numbers looking pretty decent here. You can see Nakamura trying his best to corral his opponent. Does so successfully. Gets the surround in. Numbers are good. Does he have... He doesn't have the favor in the bank. No restoration going to be casted here. Don't even look out for it. Meanwhile, the surround is absolutely perfect here. Nakamura is feeling very good about this fight. Very good about himself. Beautiful shots coming out from those big bull Minotaurs, but it's not going to be enough to save the day here. And now 86 military in favor of Nakamura compared to the 28 of his opponent. Chemo does not have long to go. Ladies and gentlemen, he needs a miracle to keep himself in this game. Does he have a heroic age on the way through? No, he doesn't. He's got a lot of Vils in queue. How about his opponent? How is Nakamura doing? Let's take a look and see. Nothing in queue at the moment. No second TCs, no nothing. Raiding cavalry now going to start to move out. Do we start to see maybe a couple of hoplites here to help defend? Or is it just going to be full tox for the defense? No, we do have quite a few hoplites. 13, to be exact, at the moment. Military numbers are really starting to build here, though. Nakamura looks like he will be going into the heroic age. 32 Vils. Hold on. No, that's all right. I'm watching from the wrong perspective. Here we go. 32 Vils. Oh, my lord. That's a lot of Vils on gold right now. That is a huge amount of Vils on gold. So for Nakamura, what you want to be doing at this stage, don't be taking any fights here. Avoid fights. You're going up to the heroic age. You go up to the heroic age, upgrade all of your units, and then look to fight with one big push. You can even wait for that heroic myth unit, whichever it may be. But he does have a decent advantage on military size here. The only thing is you're risking it. It's not one of those percentage plays, right? Like, we talk about percentage plays in basketball all the time. I don't know if you guys are basketball fans. I'm not. But it's one of the things that we talk about when we're playing basketball. You know, you're going to go for that easy layup, or you're going to go for that 3-point. You know, realistically, how many times have you hit a 3-point this year? I'm just saying. Like, once out of, like, what, 40 shots? And, yeah, it's not pretty. It's not a percentage play. This is not a percentage play right here. You got to be careful, Nakamura. You got the age up coming through. He could look to time this with the god power from the heroic age. But he's not going to do it. Instead, just going to dive in onto the Toxers immediately. Raiding cavalry at the back. Ajax looking to hold off the front. Bull Minotaur going to be running in. Going to be looking to yeet a couple units out of the octagon. Says, see you later, mate. And you can see exactly why we don't do it. Mistakes. Tails underneath our legs as we run away. We made the wrong move here. Nakamura. Yeah, hate to see it. He's gone up through Skadi. And you know what that means. It's time for a little bit of snow. Well, not just snow, it's actually ice. And there it is. He throws down the freezing cone. It's the deep freeze, right? No, it's just literally frost. So he's frozen all the units, but you've got to remember, even though they're frozen, they've got plenty of armor on them. In fact, they've got so much armor. Look how much damage they're taking. It's in 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are technically losing health, but ideally, what you want to be seeing in these situations is you frost half the army, and then you attack half of it while the other half is frosted. Or, like, you're frosting the army and then you're killing some buildings. This isn't a very effective frost. If anything, this buys you time for your frost giants to come, for your reinforcements to come, for your upgrades to come online. We haven't actually seen that just yet. Oh, never mind. He's gone from medium to heavy. We have seen that. He's done that. And now, with 1 second to go, he looks to regroup. Frost breaks. And now we've got our battle lines drawn once again. Frost Giant comes in, freezes the Bull Minotaur. Age Up comes through from Chemo. Immediately curses the backline. Chemo. Oh. Apologies, guys. As I said, I'm trying my best here. I forgot to get water. Nemean Lion, he's looking for it. You can smell him. He's hunting right now. You smell that? You smell what the Nemean Lion is cooking? No, wait. Those are pigs. Those are pigs. Sorry. All right. We continue. Moving on. But I tell you what, Nakamura, mate, you were so close, but so far. And now, Chemo is looking to push his agenda onto the other side of the map. Just when it looked almost certain that Nakamura was going to take the cake today, Chemo says, hey, I got a little bit of chemo sabi for you, my friend. Big freeze comes in. What does he freeze? He's frozen the Nemean Lion, picks it out, says 792 health on you, mate. I don't care. Second Frost Giant going to come out, probably going to target that over on the Nemean Lion as well. Needs to try and work that bad boy down. He's got a lot of Valkyrie out right now. Huge amount of cavalry here. Hillfort comes online. Bull, Minotaur, pushing back those cavalry units, but you can see the numbers advantage still in favor of Chemo at this stage. Shade's now going to be moving forward as well. Raiding cavalry on the bottom side. More Toxes towards that top, and there it comes. The big deep freezes in on that Bull Minotaur once again, but it looks like Nemean Lions get off their roars. Wow, look at the size of those roars. Tell you what, that is a healthy amount of energy those guys have got. He's got 3 Nemean Lions in here. Frost Giants come in, immediately look to freeze up those Nemean Lions before that cooldown can be refreshed, and you can see the turn of the tables is coming through. Nakamura says, hey, you thought you were close. You thought you had it, but unfortunately, my defense is pretty good, and not only is my defense good, but I have got super cool... You guys saw those, right? Little throwing axemen that were just throwing amazing axes. These were the most amazing axes you've ever seen. At least that's what everybody says. Everybody says these axes are amazing. Migration. Where are we heading? We're heading back home. It's probably a wise choice. It's a dangerous time to migrate. We'll say that much. Both players still on 1 TC throughout this game. You know, I asked that question. Why did we get the Sentinels down this early? It was because Chemo knew what was up. Chemo said, you know what? I'm not going any second TC shenanigans today. You make a second TC, it's fine. I'll kill it. I'm not letting anybody get 2 TCs today. And that was the decision-making process he went through. Meanwhile, Pegasus doing a decent job of just scouting out towards that west side. We hear some Nemean Lions roaring, but not a whole lot of units being stunned. Frost Giant still here. Chiron is out on the backside. Deep Freeze comes in. Is it... what's the name? There's got to be like a name for that Frost Giant freeze. I want to say it's Deep Freeze. I feel like we have to call it Deep Freeze. It's called Deep Freeze, right, guys? Wait, if I do this and click here, we can see that he's got... Deep Freeze... No. We can't actually see the name of it. It's an actual, like... You can hover over it on the UI. I mean, we can't, but if you were playing... Oh, he's going for it. Oh, he's going to go for it. Okay. So, let's talk a little bit about how Fimbulwinter works. And about why it is so scary right now. Because Nakamura is going for a win condition. This could be the win condition that wins him the game. As a win condition does. You know, it's not a lose condition. But sometimes you can lose the game from a win condition. Or you can lose the game because you didn't go for a win condition. So, let's talk about what's going to happen. As soon as he ages up, he's going to try and take a fight in the Mythic Age, and he's going to click the Fimbulwinter button at the same time. And he's going to hope that he's able to cause a really big amount of damage to his opponent because he's fighting at the same time, and that means he can't fight the wolves of Fimbulwinter. The wolves are going to spawn at all of the town centers. Doesn't matter if they're taken, it doesn't matter if they're neutral, doesn't matter if it's yours, doesn't matter if it's theirs. They will spawn, I think it's like 6 wolves at each one. And then they will go looking for hostile units. So, crocodiles, that's on the menu. Enemy Nemean Lions, that's on the menu. But if you can bait your opponent to fight in a position like this, there's a good chance that if you hit Fimbulwinter, you're going to be able to get those wolves out. Expect to see it any second. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. There it is. The wolves now coming online, looking to defend. Let's see if he's going to be able to bring them into the fight. There they go. A couple of them looking to migrate over. You can see the rotation coming through in the main base. All of the wolves now coming through. Garrison is online towards that north side. You can see him now going to be picking a fight with the Rhinoceros. Meanwhile, that fight towards the main front, you can see just how much damage has been able to soak up here. Still a huge amount of military on the field at the moment. He's able to defend. Keep in mind, he's got the Sentinels back. Finally going to get some usage out of them. But the Fimbulwinter has been successful. Another 13 seconds today. How's that village account doing? Village account still looking pretty healthy right now for Chemo. He's feeling okay about himself. He says, you know what? Maybe we could think about doing something similar. Maybe I want to go up to the Mythic Age. At the moment, he can't. He's poor. There we go. All of them have died. Let's reset the scoreboard, though, and take a look at where we are. Village account is even. Pretty much. Like, at this point, this is a negligible amount. 4 vills at this. You're talking about, like, what? 6%? 5%? Something like that. Village account, or rather a military account, in favor of Chemo. The fact that he held through the Fimbulwinter, didn't lose his army, didn't lose a huge amount of vills, to me, that's a success. And I think Chemo is now at a really strong advantage, but consider one thing. Nakamura is in the Mythic Age. And that now gives him access to these bad boys. Fenris. Is it Fenris? Fenris, wolf blood. Wolf brood. Fenris, wolf brood. And for all you Hangover fans out there, you know exactly what I'm thinking right now. You want to be part of that wolf pack. I know. I want to as well. Only one wolf pack at the moment. He's going to be able to pick off a couple units here. Definitely feels good getting this many units out. Just gives you that little bit of an advantage. Inch out that advantage slightly. Meanwhile, towards the south side, another raid going to be coming through here. Apologies, I'm a little bit congested at the moment. Do I take my... I'm going to take my Vapor drops right now. Give me a sec. Clears the nose, soothes the throat. I'm just going to pull this out of the packet. Throw that in there. That's going to be annoying. I apologize, but we got to do it. Otherwise, I'm not going to be alive. Let's just put it that way. If I keep going that way. Well, that's not true. I would probably be fine. All right. Let's check in and see how Chemo's doing. Meanwhile, towards that top side, Nemean Lion gets off a decent roar here. Fenris, Wolf Brood, does go down. And he's just chased away a huge amount of army, manages to pick up a whole bunch. I don't know why Nakamura was really that hard about that position. To me, it didn't really make a lot of sense. Couple of... It's interesting that... why do we see this? Is this because Nakamura or Chemo is going for this town center? He is. Ville's now going to be pulled away. So the settlement, you can see it's got the scaffolding around it on the edges, whereas like compare it to this one, it doesn't. And that's because he wants to build the town center there. I'm going to be honest with you, Chemo. We're 26 minutes into this game. I like this. I like... you know, I was going to talk shit, but then I was like, you know what? This is a good move. I rate this. It kind of guarantees that, you know, not right now, but give the man 10 minutes and he's going to be cooking. He is going to be cooking something delicious. You're going to be, you know, you're going to be thinking, what is going on in that place next door? Why does it smell so good? And he's just like, mate, it's butter, oil, garlic in a pan. That's literally it. Nothing else. Have a look at this. Oh, Nemean Lion gets a huge roar off. Big stun comes in and oh my lord, look how quickly that champion raiding cavalry goes. Now, keep in mind, these are your Mythic Age upgrades. So Nakamura now has a huge advantage over his opponent. So military advantage, quite big. 94 health now. A lot of extra health, a lot of extra damage coming through. Big Nemean roars, and once again, is he going to be able to take advantage of them though? You're able to get that big stun off, but nothing to really combo with it. How's he doing when it comes to... Not a whole lot of favor in the bank either. You know, a curse maybe could have worked here. I don't think a restoration really makes sense, but a curse definitely could have helped, like, thin the front line. But hold on a minute. Toxes are doing well. Another big Nemean Lion roar comes in. Yeah, we got to talk about these lions, man. This is starting to get a little bit scary. Just how good these lions are. Throwing axemen on the backside, teeing off. There's a lot of ranged units coming out. And have a look at those axes on the ground. Are they going to pick up their axes? I didn't know you could do that. You can reduce the cooldown if you pick up your axe. No, not really. What game is that from? That's got to be from like Rust or something. You can throw the axe. Well, it's like, of course you reduce the cooldown, mate. Like, you just picked up the axe. Of course you can throw it again. What do you reckon the original cooldown was? Probably like 7 seconds. And then it's down to 0 if you pick it up again. It doesn't make sense. Why, I don't know why that would happen. Anyway, little bit of a moment right here. It's gonna have to fall back. Definitely the right call. Falling back now. Ideally, right now, Chemo doesn't want to fight. Like, Chemo should not be fighting this. I say Chemo doesn't want to fight, but I'm not speaking on behalf of Chemo. I don't know what Chemo wants to do, but in this situation, from an RTS perspective, Chemo should not fight. Chemo should chill right now. Chemo should wait. Chemo should boom. And he should try and get to the Mythic Age himself while also, you know, doing all the right things. Making military, getting his upgrades. It's hard, right? Because you've only got so many resources that you can allocate. But have a look at this, second TC. I didn't even realize Nakamura went for a second TC. It looks like it was quite some time ago as well. That is not a good thing for Chemo. Perhaps that's why Chemo's gone into the second TC himself. Maybe that's why. I'm a little bit blind. You'll have to excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm legally blind. Not really. I'm not legally blind. But it's an old meme, so but it checks out. Legally blind. Gosh, that's a good meme video. If you haven't seen that one, go search for it. I'm legally blind meme video. That was one that I shared back in the day with some good Age of Empires 3 friends. That was a meme that we spammed a lot with each other. All right, looks like we've got a hill fort set up opposite the fortress. A lot of units here. He's going to start committing, looking to try and take the fight. Favor number is starting to build here, but still not quite enough to cast Restoration. Nemean Lion gets off the roars. Looks like he's going to go back to back. Big ones come in. He's able to do some decent roars right there. Gets it off, but doesn't chain them enough. At least he's only got about 3 seconds of roars that he can chain. Frost comes in. Looks like it's going to go onto the Nemean Lion once again. Meanwhile, on the backside, look at the Toxers. Just trying to focus down the enemy raiding cavalry. But these are champion raiding cavalry. He's really starting to struggle now. Falls back underneath the fortress. Holding on for dear life. Numbers are starting to look good now for Nakamura. He does have that slight lead, but it is starting to build. An 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 score lead now starting to build for him. This has been a great fight. Exactly what he needed this game. Now we need to see some siege coming out. And good news, Drongo. We've got some siege online. Nakamura now with the ballista coming out is going to be able to put this fortress in the dirt where it belongs, or at least as a Norse main. Not really a Norse main. As you guys know, I'm a little bit of a Norse player myself. But he's done well. 30 minutes into this game to manage to pull this one out, I got to say. He's done well. Chemo's put up a good fight, though. But I guess it's not over until the fat lady sings. He's got a couple of options here. If he looks to go Mythic, what ways are there that he could really bring this back? Like, Earthquake, I think, is one of his options, but I feel like that's probably not going to do it for him. Other than that, it's like the big vault, right? I don't know the exact names, and I'm not 100% sure if those are his age ups, so I apologize in advance if they're not. Didn't mean to trigger you guys. Hoplite's getting the heavy upgrades, just coming through now. Ballista teeing off, slowly working it down. Nemean Lions. I'm not sure if these roars are going off preemptively or he's just scary. Oh, it's a big roar. First one hits. Second one. He's always looking to try and get a connection. Never mind. He's already used that. That first one was a real one. Numbers still looking decent, though. But it's Huskarls now. Champion Huskarls that are coming out. Huge amount of armor that these guys have got. Yeah, I think this might be GG. The Huskarls are going to seal it here. Just because the Toxotes are good. But unfortunately against the Huskarls, there's just no chance. It's too hard to micro through them. And you can see right now that, unfortunately, the numbers are just going to overwhelm him. And the moment that you push through here, you can then look to push onto gold. And that's pretty much when the game gets called. I mean, obviously, we've got trade as an option. And speaking of trade, well, we got some decent trade that's coming out right now. How big are these numbers? Let's take a look and see. 72. Pretty much max in a 1v1 game that you're going to be looking at. Around 72, 75, somewhere in that region. So really, really nice for him. Another Frost Giant going to be coming out. But hold on. Chemo still fighting, despite being down 14k. We've got double or hill fort, great house, great hall, and triple long house. Sorry, we'll get there eventually. Nemean Lion on the bottom side. Spots out a victim. Look how much damage it does. It's gonna like 3-hit that bad boy. Comes in. Can look for a roar here. Bit of a waste if he did. Triple Frost Giant now coming out, though. The crowd control that the Frost Giant gives, I would say it's almost on par with the Nemean Lion. I mean, probably not. It depends. You use them different situations, right? Like, Frost Giant, you can lock down enemy myth units. You know, if you're up against, like, a big amount of Nemean Lions, you can just use the Frost Giant to freeze them. And you can do somewhat preemptively. Donkey Caravan's now coming out. All right, all right. Hold your horses. We got donkeys. Where's he running to? Mark it up here. He's making his way through. It's only 43 gold, though. And it's the triple Frost Giant that continues to push down. Nemean Lion. Unfortunately, sir, there's just not enough behind it. Throwing Axeman on the back, just constantly teeing off. I think he's picked up every single upgrade. We can actually have a look and see. Oh, no, he hasn't. Look at this. He's still only got copper upgrades coming through. He does have that unique Scardy upgrade, which is really nice to have. Make sure that you're tracking 100% or 99% with your throwing axes. We start to see, oh, finally, we've got the, this is a unique upgrade that comes through from Freya, increasing hero hit points. Not really that important, but definitely nice. More production continuing to come up on the front. Some outposts as well, or sentry towers, watchtowers rather. Down towards that south side. Have a look at this, the amount of trade that is out here. This is just a huge trade network that is now getting set up. I'd love to see some walls getting oh, wow. Multiple angles of attack now coming through for Nakamura RTS. It feels like it's only a matter of time until the G's are typed in. Chemo doing his best to hold on and fight to the last second. Walls are getting upgraded. Stone wall's now online. We don't have enough O to sell. I don't know what O is. But there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Chemo tapping out Nakamura victorious after 34 minutes of battle. Now, before you go, I want you to go check out Nakamura if you haven't already. I'm going to leave a link in the description to where you can go watch him on YouTube. He's a fellow content creator just like me. He makes amazing content. So go say g'day. If you haven't already, go check him out. Because, yeah, I watch a lot of his content. So go say g'day. Let's dive in and have a look at the end game. I want to have a look at the Vil graph. Particularly, I want to see when Nakamura added that second TC. Because that took me by surprise. You could see just how much of a cutthroat game this was when it came to villager kills. Constant raids going through, both sides just really trading places here on that Vil scoreboard. But you can see around the 25-minute mark, Nakamura really starts to pick up that villager count and builds that nice lead that we love to see. Up about 20 Vils at this point. And then finally, Chemo realizes, oh no, I think he spots it with the Pegasus and shoots up very, very quickly. But unfortunately, in the end, Nakamura able to maintain a decent lead throughout that game. And we can see when it came to the resource difference between these two, even Stevens all the way up until, what is this? Like, up until even the 25th minute, it's still pretty even. But once that second TC gets added in, baby, it is just to the moon for Nakamura. And our final military unit count, you can see that Chemo was making work here. I mean, this was the fight that we kind of called, and we said, like, you got to be really careful right here, Nakamura. But actually, now that I think about it, you've got like 25 units versus 52. And then what happens? Fimbulwinter happens. And then back down straight away. But yeah, in the end, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. Once again, link in the description for Nakamura. Go check him out. And of course, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.